Do you believe
Why
that
not?
October 7th was resistance, or do you believe it was an attack?
I've answered your question, but you just want to keep, you want to have a narrow definition of how it's responded, because you've used your platform to spread debunked claims like beheaded Israeli babies, infants burned alive in their cribs, lies that were weaponized to justify the destruction of Gaza. These falsehoods remain on your website, even after being disproved. But when there's actual
Nerdeen,
evidence,
it hasn't been disproved. I have seen the footage myself. I have been in the kibbutz. I have been there and talked to the people, and I have seen.
Biden saying
I have actually seen the videos of the Hamas invaders on their own body cams. I have seen that. This isn't hearsay. It's absolute
why did the White
fact.
House walk back the claims that Biden made about seeing those same images?
I'm sorry?
Why did the White House walk back the claims about Biden seeing those same images months and months ago? Have you seen the footage of tens of thousands of Palestinian children decimated, evaporated, charred? Why aren't you speaking about those people?
I absolutely have seen footage of Palestinian children losing their lives. And I'll ask you the question.
They were killed. They didn't mysteriously lose their lives. They were killed by Israeli missiles funded by the United States.
In this video, Nerdeen Kiswani just shut down Dr. Phil's desperate move to defend Israel and also exposed all the paid media of Israel on his own show, the Dr. Phil's podcast. Nerdeen talked about how all the paid media reacts to anything Palestine does to Israel, but when it's time to show the real scenes of Israel's action, they stay silent every time. So let's watch the argument.
Are you saying that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying that. And according to the Raphael Lemkin Institute for Genocide, Raphael Lemkin is the person who coined the term genocide, was also Jewish, that yes, it falls under the definition of genocide.
Well, let me tell you, if they're committing genocide in Gaza, then why are they warning people in Gaza that they are getting ready to do an attack in an area so they have an opportunity to clear the area before they drop missiles in that area? Why are they warning them? They're not committing genocide there. Their stated, demonstrated intent to defeat Hamas, not to eradicate Palestinians. They provide food, they provide water, they provide aid, they allow for evacuations, they warn civilians before airstrikes so they can minimize harm. And
they don't allow for evacuations.
They absolutely allow. They warn them ahead of time, and Hamas keeps them from leaving.
Gaza is the most densely populated region in the entire world, if not, or one of the most densely populated regions. So this is just false that they, have this opportunity to leave.
Does Hamas embed themselves within civilian areas? Does Hamas embed themselves in civilian areas using human shields?
I'm not a spokesperson for any organization, so I'm not sure why you're asking me, about Hamas. But if you're going to use the human shields argument, then you can say Israel used human shields by having people live on a border of a place that they have been blockaded, that they have put under siege for 2 decades. So when you say they give them water or allow them water, they're the ones restricting water. They're the ones who made Palestinians, live in a non-contiguous Swiss cheese-like structure where Palestinians in Jerusalem, the West Bank, Palestinian citizens of what is now.
Here, Dr. Phil actually repeating the answers of Benjamin Netanyahu, like when he was asked about the accusation of Israel blocking food trucks to Palestine so that the Palestinians don't get food. And Netanyahu also lied, saying Hamas is actually stealing food and selling it to Palestinians on the Nelk Boys podcast.
Why do they say Israel's starving the people of Gaza?
Well, because we're trying to get the food in, and we let food trucks in, and guess what happens when we let them in? Hamas steals the food, takes the good chunk for itself. Then they jack up the prices, and then they sell the food to its population, to its hungry population, if they give them at all. And then use the money that they take from their own people to recruit more killers into their terror machine.
If you don't want to discuss strategy, then let's just talk about results. You say that Israel is powerful, they have weapons, they're backed by the United States, and they're committing genocide in Gaza. Between 1990 and 2022, the population of Palestine has increased from 1.9 million to 5 million. That's a growth of 155% in 32 years. Does that
Why don't
sound
you
like
put up the
genocide?
definition of genocide, Dr. Phil?
Does
Put up
that
the
sound like
definition of
genocide?
Put up the definition of genocide, because it's not just about completely killing every single person in Palestine to be calling it a genocide. It's the intent to kill people. It's the intent to destroy a nation or group by destroying their political institutions, their social institutions, their way of life. And this is what Israel's been doing to us. So I'm not even, I would go as far to say that it hasn't just been a genocide for the last 18 months. Palestinian people have been facing a genocide since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948.
This land belonged to the Jewish people long before 1948. But I'm glad that you brought that up, because in 1948, if we're talking about the rule of law, you're quite right. Because in 1948, there was an establishment and it was accepted by Israel, but it was rejected by Palestine. They have had numerous opportunities to have a two-state solution since at least the 1940s.
Why would Palestinians accept giving 51% of our land to 6% of the population that was newly immigrated at the time? Why would anyone accept settler colonialism? We fought against British colonialism. We fought even against the Ottoman Empire. Why would anybody accept willingly to be colonized?
So what do you want to happen? What do you want to happen? The Palestinians have rejected a two-state solution on 13 different occasions beginning in 1937 with the Peel Commission, the UN Partition Plan. I can go on up through and including 2020. So what do you want to happen?
I believe that one democratic state where people of all different religions can live together in peace, as they did prior to the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, where you are not granted supremacy based on your religion. And I believe that the indigenous people of Palestine, should be repatriated, should be given the right of return as stipulated in UN Resolution 194, which none of these solutions that you just posited, in these two-state solutions allows that, as an option. I believe that there must be reparations for the Palestinian people who've lost their land, who've been languishing in refugee camps and neighboring Arab countries for decades, for over 75 years at this point. And those who wish to live peacefully among their neighbors, who wish to be part of the Palestinian nation building project, can continue to do so. We even have Jewish people in my group within our lifetime. So,
how many Jews live in Gaza now?
You can literally see Dr. Phil, no matter how many points and facts Nerdeen puts on the table, but in the back of Dr. Phil's head, it's like, hey girl, no matter how many facts and proofs you show me, I'm only going to say my things from the script I got. And honestly, I'm really feeling like that here. Nerdeen is explaining what Israel has done to Palestine with proof, but what Dr. Phil is defending is what he saw from somebody's body cam about what Hamas did, which are only talks without proofs. Guys, let me know in the comments if you agree with me on this.
I have actually seen the videos of the Hamas invaders on their own body cam. Absolutely, there were Palestinian lives that were lost when Israel reacted to the attack on October 7th. And those missiles were sent because Hamas attacked on October 7th and then went and hid cowardly among the civilians in Palestine. I hate that Palestinian lives have been lost. I hate that children in Palestine have been killed by missiles that have been sent to come after the terrorists that have attacked Israel. There's no question about that. That is terrible. I hate that that has happened.
You could take your same argument and flip it, on its head in the reverse. The establishment of the State of Israel happened through the genocide and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people, something that my grandparents personally faced. And so, you could say that anything that happened thereafter was also a reaction to that. I mean, if you're going to justify it, in one way, then we can, use that same argument to justify, anything on the Palestinian side that you're against as well. So, I think it's important for us to go back to the root cause of the issue, because I do believe that Palestinian Muslims, Christians, Jews, all different faiths, different backgrounds can live together in peace as they did prior to the establishment of the state of Israel. And I think any state that needs to commit genocide in order to exist, that needs to occupy people, that needs to imprison 10,000 Palestinians, that needs to use rape as a weapon of war, which, has been used against Palestinians for decades with silence from Western media, simply doesn't deserve to exist, especially when it needs constant U.S. funding.
Are you saying that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza? Is that what you're saying?
The way Dr. Phil is speaking in this moment, saying that he hates that Palestinian kids and people lost their lives.
I hate that Palestinian lives have been lost. I hate that children in Palestine have been killed.
For a second, it can give you an impression that, hey, finally, Dr. Phil is agreeing with the truth. But no, even here he is agreeing to all this just to prove again that Israel did nothing wrong, and whatever Israel is doing is all the fault of Palestine and Hamas, which is ridiculous to hear from someone like Dr. Phil.
How are 1.8 million Arab citizens living in Israel? It's 20% of the population. They have full rights. They vote, they work, they run for office, they own property. They have more rights and freedom in Israel than in any Muslim country on the face of the earth. How is that apartheid?
That's simply not true. And like I already stated, there's 51 discriminatory laws against them.
They have their own political parties.
Israel defines itself as a Jewish state, meaning that there is Jewish supremacy. Regardless of all these things that you've mentioned, do you deny that there are 51 discriminatory laws against Palestinian citizens of Israel? Because that's simply a fact. And again, you're ignoring millions of other Palestinians that I've mentioned.
You know that hostages are being held. You know that hostages are being tortured. And you know that the Hamas imperative is to kill every Jew in Israel and in Western civilization. Do you deny that?
Again, I'm not sure why you're asking me questions about Hamas when I'm not a spokesperson. I'm not speaking on behalf of Hamas. I'm speaking broadly on the aspirations, the beliefs of the Palestinian people. So yes, I do believe in everything I say, and I believe that most Palestinians.
So guys, you just saw and might have noticed one thing, and that is there are few things which maybe Dr. Phil has been given by the paid media, and Dr. Phil keeps repeating all those things over and over. Whenever he is losing any argument against Palestine from any guest, he uses things like Israel warns people before bombing, Israel is doing all the attacks in self-defense, blah 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 blah, and all other talking points. And Dr. Phil doesn't even want to listen to any of the counter arguments. You cannot defend Israel and their actions with a couple of incidents and points, but there is no way you can also ignore thousands of proof and evidence with just a few talking points of Palestine. Guys, what do you think about Dr. Phil's takes on this Israel-Palestine debate? Do you think Dr. Phil is neutral in it, or do you think Dr. Phil is taking Israel's side without any valid reasons? Let me know your point of view in the comments, and please like this video to reach as many people as possible. And guys, if you can, subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.